お願いします。
お願いします。
So I'll just start a little bit of spinning here. What's that? Okay, go front and back. Side to side. Yep. Yes. Awesome. Okay, into rotation. And inside, outside. What? There we go. You just open it up here into the breath in, and then out as you go down. And coiling all the way through the spine up. Just clearing out to the side here. Just loosening the hips. Right. And down, just rotating through the spine. Just shifting the weight, nice and easy. Holding one side. That's a side. And legs parallel, facing forward. Change sides. A little bit further down, the back knee. Change. Okay. Rolling the knees. Stretching them back a little bit. Gently bringing forward. Back one more time. Okay, reaching the hands down to the ground. As much as you need to bend the knees, get the hands down into the ground if you can. Bending from the knees if you need to. Relax the upper body as much as you can. That's a really gentle wave through the body, from the hips. And then straightening from the leg, from the knees. Let the hands roll up the body. Draw the body up. Keep the breath going as you come up. Just let the hands come over to the side. You come up, pull up. You're just shaking the hands on the wrists. Hands on the feet. Hands on the feet. That side. Just rolling your arms here. And checking the whole body. Okay, good. Okay, take a bokkeen. Okay. Right. Good. Okay, we'll just start straight away into 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒂. It's nice and big, clear movements. Find in the back. You give yourself time here at the back. Pause at the top. And pause at the bottom. Great, just try the same side on the left side. Same thing on the left. Rolling the body back, dropping the body in. So you're looking for a nice clean arc through the whole body. Okay, good. Just watch, especially now the right shoulder as you go in. Just try this as an exercise, just cutting in and then just dropping the shoulder back. So what shouldn't be forward is when you drop the body back, the body should still be kind of off at an angle here. Just watch for the body getting dragged forward here. So if I let the right arm kind of drag me forward as I drop in, I have the hips kind of, the shoulders kind of square and the hips are kind of angled off. Unless I'm in that kind of position, which is a different kind of position, then we're coming into that kind of position, which is really different. So just get a sense that what you're doing is actually letting the body enter into this kind of triangular posture, and especially the right shoulder now. Just check it as you come in here. Just let it drop, and just feel the shoulders just settle back into the same structure as the back hip. Just dropping down. And there should still be that kind of sense of bounce of the body. If I get pulled out, it's gonna lean me over the front of the base. Just check it as you go down. That's it. So the left cut's really different to the right side. Just trying to fit it into the posture. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay, good. There we go. Good. Very nice. Very nice. There we go. Brilliant. Okay, just come now into Zengo. So come to here. Just letting yourself then fall into the triangle with the body and the feet. And you give the hips time to settle through the cut. Down. 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 Okay. And then just take this a little bit slower. Just, you can do this with a kind of cut through, arc through. Just really feel that it's one motion. So from the time of this, from here, just really see this one thing all the way through. We've got a real tendency, especially in this exercise, to go like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And it's not bad, but it's basically it's a kind of beginner's way to get into the exercise. But once you've got it, get the feeling that the rotation and the cut's kind of one thing, or is one thing, not kind of one thing. Just get the sense that it's also true. It's also true the first group, because of the way we practice it, we've got the sense of doing 1, 2. But actually, it's really just one thing. 1. And then from here, really feel that the rotation cut is one thing. Rotate, cut, rotate, cut. So just feel that it's basically one continuous movement from the hip. What I don't do is like pause the hip and then come into it. You can do, but it's just really a way to get into the movement. But just feel that it's one movement with the hip. So think less about the sword and more about the body. What the body's doing is rotating through and finding the ground. Rotate to the back, finding the ground. Just let the sword follow the hips. It might be easier to either you can slow it down, just take it into a arcing slice through. Just think about the body draining to the ground as it goes. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. One, boom. There we go. That's it. Nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice, nice, nice. That's it. Yeah, 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 good. Okay, and now as you start to go into a normal speed, just watch one thing can tend to happen, which is like a rocking. So then there tends to be like a rock into it. The body's basically coming out in and out of the momentum. You're basically then doing it with momentum because the body swings back, presses in, swings back, presses in. Just get a sense of what you're doing is coiling into the ground. So try and find, it's not a massive spiraling movement, but what you do is you coil the movement into the ground. So think that it's spiraling in the ground here. Spiraling in the ground here. It's a bit exaggerated, but just get the sense that now as you go, as you start to take it a bit more normal, just watch this feeling for the body rocking. See it basically hit the ground as you go. Hit there. So you hit there, hit there, hit there, hit there. And the hips are engaging, but try not, just watch for the body kind of swinging through the motion. Let the sword swing and the body hit the ground basically. You can kind of take it into a kind of normal-ish speed. There we go, that's it, that's it, that's it. Go, there we go. Nice. Good, there we go, there we go. Great. Good. And then just take it into 𝒕𝒊𝒔𝒂𝒕. So you've got the next extra step on the right side, on the third curve. So you go here, this. Again, just take that movement slow and just feel that it's one thing. And you can do this left side and right side. So starting on the left side, you can put in 2, 3, 4. That was wrong. I do it again. 1, 2, 4, 1, 4. There we go. There we go. Okay, if you think about this like 𝒕𝒂𝒃𝒃, so if you think about it as you go through, you're taking it through, and then as you go in, you're drawing the sword through into this movement. So when you do this in 𝒕𝒂𝒃𝒃, the key thing with 𝒕𝒂𝒃𝒃 is that I don't drag the arm behind and then try and pull it over. So what you want to do, basically in this case, is keep the sword here. This. So you're rolling to this position. So just try this now. Just with the basically break it down to 2. What I was saying, don't do before. Just break it down to 2. So you're gonna roll underneath it. but feel the swords really engaged into the front, and then just engage the hip down. So feel that the rotation is the movement, that kind of movement. What I don't do in this case is that, let the body kind of swing back. So in this case, just watch where the sword ends when you make the rotation. So you've got this movement there. Really feel that the sword's engaged into the, it's anchored in the back, but it's cutting into the front. So it's, yeah, just feel that. Yeah. There. There. That's it. Yeah, there we go. Very nice. There we go. Nice. Good. Okay, we'll just play with this rotation. You can do this as a set, but it's quite confusing. So I'll just show it as one movement. You come from here. You're just going to step in from the back leg, roll in and cut down. So just play with this. You're here, right side forward. Just slide in here, and then cutting down this way. So bring the body in with a step, rotate the back, and then cutting down. It's a really classic kind of 𝒕𝒂𝒃𝒃 work. So let the body cut in there, find the hip. And you can break this down into two if you want. There. And the key thing is really finding the ground through that rotation. There. Really mobile movement. And at the end of it, really settled. That's it. There we go.
Michael, can you please show the footwork again?
Yeah, sure. 1 sec. Over here. Okay, so you're in this position. Let the body come through. You go underneath the sword. This way. So let the sword go there. There. Yeah, so you go right in. Step. Run. Step. Run. It goes there. So
Great, thank you.
yeah. Okay, yeah, just watch this in this case. It's also true with 𝒕𝒂𝒃𝒃. One of the problems is I root this foot too much, so I do something like this. That. And then rotate into it. Because it's possible, it's one way to do the technique, but if you think about this as one movement, what you need to do is this foot needs to be mobile as well. So you're pressing weight through it, but you're also mobilizing into it at the same time. So you're really going to work the ball of the foot as you go through. If it's fixed, and then I try and rotate it. This is really, it works in a static way. It works really statically, but if you think about a dynamic movement, you're going to really be mobilizing the body through. So just watch the foot as you go through. So do this nice and slow, but just watch. I want to not do two things. I don't want to twist against the joint in the movement. So that means if this is static and I'm rotating into it, the joint's going to take the weight. So as you go in, really feel that the body can mobilize through the ground. So it's about the relationship to the ground, but it's supple, not fixed. So if my grounding's really fixed, it's going to kind of either slow me down or really screw the body up if I go into a rotation too early and the foot is fixed. So footwork's really kind of pliable. It's really got a nice suppleness to it. That's it, Catherine. Nice. Very nice. Good, and then just taking it one step further, you're going to now bring the back leg back as well, back leg through as well. So you come in here to this position and then draw this leg back. We're cutting back. Keep this a nice clean shomanuchi. You can do this again. You can do this, but these both sides. The other side tends to be a bit irregular. So just in this case, just keep the right side forward. So you step in, roll on the knee, and then get the hips into it. So the hips are drawing back through the cut. Come on in, back. And just keep a nice clean shomanuchi so you've got a really clear guide for the hips and for the arms. Whoa. Okay, just play freely now with the rotation. So you've got these basically three kinds. You've got just rotating, turning the body this way. This way. You've got moving from the foot this way from the front foot, and you've got moving from the back foot. Getting in. Well, you can also, if you're really comfortable with all these rotations, we do them either 3/4 or 180. You can also just open the movements out. So especially this one, you've got a big movement here. And also this one coming from the back leg, you can also make this bigger by letting the foot go across the body. So you can let the back foot go here across. So just play with these rotations. You've got a basic one, 1, 2. You've got rotating from the front foot, 1, 2, and you've got rotating from the back foot, and also dropping the leg back if you feel like it. Coming in. So just play freely with them. Just try and really become the center of the movement. Really find the middle of it. And whichever you do, try and make it into one movement. So it's either a short rotation or a long movement. But just make it one thing. Nice. There we go. Oh, nice, very nice. Okay, so you can do it's like spotting. So in this case, what I don't do is think during the movement. So I don't want to get into position and then go and then think, where am I going? So this will really throw you off. So really think about establishing a direction. So I go like that, and then I think I'm going to go here. So I think, and then just hit it with the whole body. But really get a sense that you know where you're going before you go. So I go here, there. But have a really clear direction in mind. So use the pause really to establish like that. I've got the center, and then I'm going to go here. So know where you're going to go and how you're going to get there, basically, and then do it, and you'll get a really cleaner movement. So I really make it clear. That to the back. There. To the back. There. I'm first going to be very conscious, but later you can just make it. Oh, there's something at the back. Just rotate towards it. Something there. Rotate towards it. This needs to be a really consciously trained habit, because later you want to make this kind of unconscious. I don't want a kind of unconscious movement from the beginning. Kind of make it very clear from the start where I'm going. This is why this Happogiri, Shihogiri is very, very good, because you know the direction you're going to go, and it's trained in a kind of set. And that's the key thing from those exercises. Yeah, there we go. Boom. You want something very kind of clinical. Boom. Let's go. Let's go. Good. Whoosh. Nice. Good. Okay, well, this is a combination. So these are based on classic kind of Shiganagi techniques. So the first one's just go right side, and you're going to slide out with the right foot. So you're coming out to the side this way, slicing out here. So really, from this position, very, very efficient movement. Just slicing out here. And then from the back foot, let everything swing in, roll underneath, and cutting down. Let's do that. Yeah, you can do this left side and right side if you want to explore it. The right side's a bit easier in terms of what's happening with the handwork. Here, through, cutting down. And you can, if you want to explore it on the right side too, slicing through, cutting in this way. So just explore this. You've got like a 90-degree slide, and then really stepping in through the front, cutting through. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, just break this out. We'll break this down just into 3 moves. So not with the rotation, but here. So you've got this movement out, and then really feel that this movement's from the ground here. So this is like cutting into the body this way. So this is where in the Taijutsu we'd really take the spiral into it. So you get this position, and then this. So this foot really becomes grounded into the bed, this. And then from here you pass the foot through, and then find the technique here. So just split this now into 3 moves. So you've got this move, and then really feel that this comes in and establishes it. So there doesn't necessarily have to be a foot movement, but there's hip work. This coming in, and then this coming in this way. So just try this with the saw, but the key thing I don't split the rotation into, but just get the sense of this, and then very clearly establish the ground here, this. And then from here, pass the hips through, cutting into it this way. Into this left side, right side, 1, 2, 3. Give it a try. Yeah, there we go. That's. Okay. So it's very, when we go to a little bit more complicated movements, to lose all the center work. So just try and root all the movements back into the hip work and the body work. So think primarily about balance. So especially when you do these kind of complex movements, it's not too complex in terms of what we've just been doing, but get the sense of the balance of the body. What I don't do is get lost in the sword work. And basically I'm throwing all the center work out. So get the sense that the root of the movement is really the body. So just play with it and totally feel free to break the technique down. This. But really get a sense of the balance coming from the body. This. And then coming through, hip, 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 coming through all the time. Really just to emphasize the hip work. This. Which really starts with the body being balanced. As soon as the body's out of balance, all the hip work's going to fall to pieces. So just get the feeling of a really centered movement. Try and feel where the real power is coming from, which is the ground, and you channel through the hips. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, good. Very good. Great. Very nice. Very nice. Great. Okay, now just make this a little bit bigger. So the initial slicing movement, you're going to now take in from the back foot. So let it come right and slice across the body. So now you've got a big spiral in. You're going to big spiral out of it this way. Just play with the angles for it. So there's no set because it's solo work. What you can do is just work a line. So you can go in, big hip work here, and then go straight back down the line here. So if you want to first play with it, just get the feeling for the center line. The axis is going to go through, slice through, and then from here back through, slicing down. And then as soon as you feel kind of comfortable with it, just start to play with the angles a little bit. You can also make the angles wider, so feel like you can come off to the side, slicing this way. Again, just establish 2 clear directions. The first one, that. And then the second one, yeah. Just make it really clear with the hips. So the hips lead the whole movement. Yeah. Coming in. And again, if you want to play with it left side too, you can also do it left-sided. Very nice.
See you later.
Thanks, Ella. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good. I could do one more sequence. So in this case, we'll make the slice shorter. So you're in this position to the right. I'm just going to slice out to the front diagonal. So it's just a nice short movement. So it's this coming out with the right side. And then from this position, take this big rotation. So you're going to step in and cut to the back this way. And you can do left side, right side. If you want to make it simpler, just keep to the right side every time. So you slice out here and then hips through, rolling back. So the first move's very short, very direct. One. And then from here, in, rolling through, finding the ground. Goes to that. Is it 1, 2, and through. You know, really prioritizing the hip work over sword work. Wow. This way. Give it a try. It's like a big kaitenage rotation. Big, big, big move. Yeah, good. Okay, try and feel a little bit, it's like the sword's making a path for the body. So as you go in this way, and then really feel that the sword's kind of cleared away a path. So it's made a hole through the body this way. And then feel that the body just passes through it and cuts through it. So feel that you're slicing through the space in front. So you're creating an opening up here, and then let the body just press through it this way. Again, try and keep this one movement, so keep it like 1, and then really feel 2. Comes right into it. So it's got a kind of directness to it, even though it's a big long movement. I don't want to make it really too slow in this case. So even if you do it slow, think that you're actually doing it 1 movement. 1, and then it's really hard. 1. So take a few really slow, because it will really challenge your sense of balance as you go through. 1, 2. Let's do that. Give it a try. That's it. Kind of cut a big path through it. There we go. That's it. Nice, there we go. Boom. Good. Good, and then just add one movement onto the end of this. So you go here, here, cut back, and then you're going to spring the whole body forward into a 𝒂𝒂𝒿 this way. So there's now 3 movements. Goes here, 1, 2, really collecting the body, and then 3. Send the body right through into a 𝒂𝒂𝒿. So a little bit more explosive now. 1, 2, 3. Goes right in. 1, 2, and 3. Nice and heavy through the cuts. 1, 2, boom. There we go, there we go, there we go. Nice. Which. There we go. Very nice. Great. And then make this a bit bigger. So opening the movement out. If you think about this, this is like if you're doing kaitenagi. This is the form where we kind of rotate to the back first and then slice through. So what you do now is with the front here, imagine you roll all the way through the back and then you change the hip this way. So you're rolling to the back, slicing out. So you just open this first movement out. So the slice isn't going to be here now. It's going to be during the rotation. This here. And then this is the same. 1, 2. So you've got this big rotation and then change the hip. Rotate, change the hip. Rotate, change the hip. Step through 𝒂𝒂𝒿. This here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, let's do this way. Big, big, big rotation work. Nice, dense, and heavy hip work. Let's go back. Nice, there we go. Okay. Yeah, there we go, there we go, there we go. Yeah, just watch it. Try and keep this slow and keep the power out of the sword. So get the feeling that the quality of cutting is actually coming from the hip. This is what's really important when we go to empty hand work. That quality of the sword is really it's actually coming from the hip. That it's not actually coming from the hands, because if it comes from the hands, it looks like this. The hands do this kind of stuff, and they start to do this kind of stuff. But the quality of the sword is from the hip work. This is why the focus so much is in the body. The body, so that when you come to the empty hand stuff, that quality of the sword work is in the hip work this way. So just take the power out of the cut, just do a few like this, and really feel that the hip is the priority. And feel that actually the power of the movement again is coming from the ground, source from the ground through the hip work. And the arms are just kind of connecting into the sword. And just feel that the sword is just a reflection of what's happening in the hip work. Again, get the quality as I want the hips to be, slicing through the space, slicing through. Again, just feel free to break the whole exercise down. You can do what you want with the sword. It's actually, the quality's really again in the hip work. Yeah. That's it, that's it, that's it. Yeah, good. That's it, that's it. There we go, great. Great. Okay, good. Last few minutes. Just take the sword. You can take it either right side, left side. Use your natural front hand, natural dominant hand. So the first one, just take the sword here. This is just the support. So the sword's just going to give you feedback on the joints. We'll just do a few basic ones. Just first think about Taina Henko. So that. And again, the key is not what's happening in the arm, but what's happening in the hip. So just get this in the hip, this. If you want side, change side if you want. There. That, and just use the BOKKEN. It's very light. It's not. There's not so much strength in it. It's just there as a kind of support for it. Now, I don't want to push into it. I just want to settle the body into it. So really get a sense that what's happening is the arms connecting and the hips pressing through. Arm connect, hip. Arm connect, hip. 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 Just play with it a little bit. That's it. That's it, that's it, that's it. Good. Yeah, and what you can also do here is just feel that you can go to rotation, so you carry the weight into it and then just press into it. Carry the weight, press through it. And again, try and feel that it's not the arm pushing, but it's actually just the pressure from the ground. This and that contact. So it's contact, connect, roll through. Nothing actually changes here. It's just the contact point. And this orientation changes because of this, but not through that. Just get this kind of sense of that. It's just connection, hip. And you want a kind of sharpness that comes from the sword work. So once you've got the kind of idea of it, see if you can get the kind of sharpness from the hip through the body. Hip, body. Hip, body, body. And then you can take it somewhere else. And this Taina Henko handwork's really perfect for grounding. So everything goes to the ground, everything's on the underside of the arm. So not necessarily a practical way. A bit like how we use the first 𝒊𝒏𝒈. Not totally practical, but it teaches a good body dynamic. Yeah, that's it. Good. And then the second one, just to open it out, so you're now going to work like this. So the contact points now, you can do two things. You can have the contact point in the hand, in the palm, this way, or you can have it somewhere on the forearm and just let it kind of roll through. This. And just try a few sides, a few times each side. This, or you can have the contact here. This. Again, the key thing is what's happening in the hip, not the arm. Hip, 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 hip. There we go. And just use the BOKKEN very, very light feedback for the body. Yeah. Okay, keep the sense of the ground. So what tends to happen now is that it becomes dispersed. It goes somewhere like here. But really keep the sense that the ground's coming into it. The ground's coming in. Good. So if you think about Yokomanuchi work, the ground and then the strike comes in. Ground strike. It's not a strike, it's just connection again. But just get that sense that there's a definite feeling of connecting into the ground. Or it gets kind of lost somewhere in this kind of space. That's it. If you get kind of stuck with this, just use the center line of the body and you go here, this. Then the center connects into the hand and then into the ground. Good. So this makes it very simple. Good. So I've got a very clear orientation to go from. A lot of the techniques we work with, especially like Shihonage, start from that position anyway. And then what you can do is start to disperse it. So, start to open the movement out without dispersing it. There. There. And then last one, just play with this one, which is working with the feet. You just roll back, roll in, roll back, roll in. So you've now got, again, that kind of contact point, the work from Taihenko work. This rolling down and then sending the hip in. Sending the hip in. Just keep everything nice and low. Again, really focusing on the hip work. This. 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 Good. Just explore it a little bit. Just a few more. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Good. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, then last 30 seconds, so just really open these movements out. So start to work with these kind of movements, cutting out. Now you're basically working these slicing movements into it. So if you think about Ikkyo, or you think about going into these kind of Shihonage movements, rolling through. And you can also think about Kaitenage, rolling up, rolling through it, but just work on the contact again. Just work one-sided, but get again the hips heavy, rolling through, really working kokyu work, hips slice. And just keep all the time that feeling of the hands following the hips, and the hips are really based on sword work movement. There we go. Nice. There we go. Very nice. Great. Very nice. Good. Okie dokie. Great. We'll stop there. So you can also play with these and really start to open them up. The key thing is that the arm doesn't become static with the bokken. So just watch if you're rotating through it, that the arm's not doing things like this, where it's basically stuck on the sword. Really feel that what's happening is a transference to the hand. So all the time that the hand is communicating the hip work. If it's kind of stuck in this way, the hip becomes kind of dead through the movement. So just watch. In this case, really let the hand work become free. If I get lost on this kind of exercise, I feel that happening. I just go back to this, this, and then I get the dynamic between the arm and the hip back in. That, and then you just take it somewhere else. And if I get totally lost, just go back to the sword. So all these movements, they follow the same pattern. The hands, the arms communicating the hip work. Hip, hip, hip. All this kind of stuff that we do all the time. So again, it's just about taking the teachings from the weapon work back into the taijutsu where we're trying to use it, where we're trying to put it, basically. So we're trying to put the sword work into the body work totally. And then it makes it very clear when we go into the taijutsu work. So, okay, we'll start there for about. So, domo, arigatou gozaimashita. Very good. Very nice. Ooh, we're late.